Yes, please.
Xinhua News Agency. On May the 4th, China's National Computer Virus Emergency Response Center and 360 Total Security jointly issued a report entitled Empire of Hacking, the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency. What is your comment? I've noted the report. According to the report, over the years, the CIA has gathered intelligence from foreign governments, enterprises, and citizens, organized, carried out, directed, and supervised transboundary covert actions, and secretly conducted peace evolution and color revolution around the world. The agency has provided encrypted network communication services, reconnect service, and on-site command communication tools for demonstrations to espionage and cyber attacks around the world. Next one, please.
韩联社记者提问：5月2日，韩国总统
Yonhap News Agency President Yoon Suk-yeol said that China should not raise concerns about
The current peninsula issue is about the security and politics. It's about political security, and without the addressing of our concerns, the root cause is that the U.S. failed to respond to the rational concerns of the.
安理会设朝决议，并非只。
The UN Security Council resolutions is not just about sanctions, it is also about supporting dialogue, humanitarian assistance, and reversible clauses that can alleviate the sanctions. They should be understood and implemented in a full and accurate manner. Next question, please.
TASS 是记者提问。
TASS. Yesterday, Kremlin news service said that 2 drones tried to attack the Kremlin, and the drones failed due to interference from Russian radar countermeasures. Russia regards the incident as an attempt by the Ukraine side to launch a terrorist attack and assassinate the Russian head of state. What is your response?
注意到有关报。
We noted the reports. China's position on the Ukraine crisis is consistent and clear-cut. All parties should avoid take any actions that may lead to the further escalation of the tension. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。先生，
RIA Novosti. Also about the Ukraine government's attempt to attack the Kremlin. Will this affect China's plan to send representatives to Ukraine?
欧亚事务特别代表。
As to the visit by the Chinese government's special representative of Eurasian affairs, we will release information in due course, and China will continue to work with the rest of the international community to play a constructive role for the political settlement of the Ukraine crisis. Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。总台央视记者提问。那我们看到有报道称，日前美国半导体行业协会总裁。
The CEO of the Semiconductor Industry Association of the U.S., John Neufer, said in an interview with Bloomberg that China is our biggest market, and American semiconductor companies want access to the China market despite U.S. government's national security concern. Do you have any comment? I noted the reports In fact, China is the world's biggest semiconductor market, and it is in no one's interest to push for decoupling from China or to sever supply chains and disrupt the markets. To maintain its hegemony, the U.S. has for some time been overstretching the concept of national security, abusing export control measures and limiting exports to China. It is not only China that the U.S. is trying to contain and bring down, but also a large number of developing countries. The U.S. is taking away their right to sci-tech progress and development that they deserve and keeping them at the lower end of the industrial chains. Such selfish and bullying practices in sci-tech are unfair and inconsistent with economic and trade rules. They will destabilize the global industrial and supply chains, hamper global economic development, and backfire on the U.S. China is committed to high standard opening up. We are ready to achieve common development with other countries by sharing opportunities. At the same time, we will firmly defend our lawful rights and interests. Containment and suppression cannot hold back China's development. Instead, it will only strengthen our resolve and capability to pursue self-reliance and tech innovation. The just ended May Day holiday brought a great boon to the market, and the nationwide food and beverage consumption and travel accommodation bookings far exceeded the pre-pandemic levels. It is the most prosperous one in history, and some foreign media said it shows strong vitality of Chinese economy to any comment. With the hustling and bustling and the economic vitality in China, this May Day holiday is indeed a golden week. According to relevant data, a total of 274 million trips were made during the May Day holiday, generating 148 billion yuan of tourism income, up by 70% and 122% year-on-year respectively. Outbound travel bookings of Chinese nationals soared by nearly 7 times year-on-year. IMF's Regional Economic Outlook for Asia and Pacific report shows that the strong rebound of the Chinese economy provides strong impetus for the Asia-Pacific and the global economy. And the Chinese economy is expected to expand by 5.2% this year and contribute 34.9% of the global growth. We believe the vibrant Chinese economy will inject more vitality for the world economic recovery. Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。法新社记者提问。
AFP. U.S. President's Special Envoy on Climate Change, Kerry, said that China has invited him to visit China in the near future. Can you confirm this and provide the specific date?
China's position on climate change is consistent and clear-cut. Regarding the specific visit you asked about, I will refer you to the competent authorities.
下一个问题。
Bloomberg News. It's been.
彭博社据称，副总理韩正将与英国外交大臣会见，这是否意味着中方将邀请英国外交大臣访华？
交流中方。
China is always open to dialogue and exchanges, but indeed, all dialogue should be based on mutual respect and call for the joint efforts from both sides. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。路透社提问。
Reuters. 中国金融数据提供商包括万德不再向海外客户提供主要的信息，你是否予以确认？
对你说的这个情况。
I'm not aware of what you mentioned, and I will refer you to the competent authorities on the Chinese side.
下一个问题。
Next question, please.
谢谢法新社。
AFP. Chinese State Council and Foreign Minister Qin Gang visited Myanmar this week. Can you provide more information?
谢谢。感谢你对秦刚国委访问缅甸的关注。这次访问呢，我们也
Thank you for your interest in this visit, and we already put out a press release about the visit. State Council and Foreign Minister Qin Gang met with the Myanmar side's leaders Myanmar and the President of Myanmar's National Peace and Development Committee, and also made clear China's policy and stressed our friendly policy towards the whole of the Myanmar people, respect the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and supports its efforts in maintaining its independence, political stability, and achieving sustainable development. We also support the country in exploring a development path that suits its national situation and to prudently seek a political transition process. We also hope all parties and factions in the country will proceed from the interests of the nation and the country to seek settlement through dialogue and consultation and restore stability and restart the political transformation process. We stand ready to work with the rest of the international community to continue to provide our constructive assistance in this respect. Next question, please.
The United States.
美国在与菲律宾签订的新的双边安全准则中明确规定，如果其武装部队包括海岸警卫队的船只在南海的任何地方受到攻击，美国将对其进行援救。发言人对此有何评论？
海局势保持了总体稳定。
With the concerted efforts of countries in the region, the situation in South China Sea maintains stability on the whole, and there is no problem with the freedom of navigation and overflight in the region. And the defense treaty is a bilateral treaty between the U.S. and the Philippines. We firmly oppose any countries using citing bilateral treaties to interfere in the South China Sea issue and undermine China's territorial sovereignty and maritime interests and rights. And I believe that South China Sea is a common homeland for countries in the region instead of a platform for non-region countries to seek their interests, and the key lies in the hand of regional countries to seek trust, solidarity, and proper settlement of the disputes.
From PTI.
秦刚外长将出席上合会外长会。中国在此次外长会上想要强调什么？
在印度的访问，我也很关注。我们也在。
We are also closely following the latest updates to be provided by our delegation, and we will release them in due course. Please check back for updates later. Next question, please.
AFP, a Canadian lawmaker called for the Canadian side to extradite a Chinese diplomat who threatened him and his family in Hong Kong. What's your comment?
China always opposes interference in a country's internal affairs. We have never and had no interest in interfering in Canada's internal affairs. In the meantime, we firmly defend our sovereignty and security development interests. We are firmly against any act that interferes in our domestic affairs and undermine our interests. Next question, please.
TASS. A Japanese newspaper reported on Wednesday that NATO plans to open an office in Japan in the coming year. The office will serve as a liaison office through which NATO countries and Japan can consult on various matters. What is your comment?
亚洲是和平稳定的高地，合作开发的热。
Asia is a promising land for cooperation and development. It should not be a platform for those who seek Cold War. And the push for bloc confrontation calls for high vigilance from countries in the region.
问题。 还有其他问题吗？那好，今天的记者会到此结束，谢谢大家。
That's all for today. Thank you.